A new face walks through the Kremlin gates, once a rebel, now a president. Syria's Ahmed al-Sharaa comes to redefine relations with the ally that shaped his nation's war. Old loyalties, new ambitions, and one uneasy question: can Damascus ever stand on its own shadow? On October 15th, Syria's interim president Ahmed al-Sharaa arrived at the Kremlin for a historic meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, an encounter marking a potential turning point for two nations long bound by war and alliance. Al-Sharaa came bearing a carefully calibrated message. While Syria would honor all existing agreements with Moscow, it now sought to reshape their partnership on terms that would secure Syrian sovereignty, unity, and stability. Speaking candidly in Arabic during their first official meeting since he assumed power last year, al-Sharaa said,
"There are historical ties, and there are also bilateral relations and common interests that connect us. Many things connect us. Much of Syria's food supply relies on Russian production, and numerous power stations depend on Russian expertise. Many strategic and political relations, both regional and international, are closely linked to Russia. We respect all past agreements and this rich history, and we are working to redefine the nature of these relations."
Putin welcomed this gesture with measured warmth. He singled out Syria's recent parliamentary elections, the country's first since the fall of Bashar al-Assad, as a step toward political consolidation.
I am thankful to you for welcoming our delegation from various departments that was headed by Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak. Many interesting and useful initiatives were voiced. From our side, we are ready to do everything to implement them, as well as regular contacts and agreements via foreign ministries. We are very glad to see you.
The Kremlin's support signals Moscow's readiness to deepen cooperation beyond their historic military alliance. Central to that alliance remain Russia's military bases in Syria, the Khmeimim Air Base and naval facility in Tartus. These outposts anchor Moscow's strategic presence in the Mediterranean and underpin its broader influence across the Middle East and North Africa. Beyond military cooperation, Russia articulated plans to help restore Syria's shattered economy, promising to invest in vital oil fields and repair infrastructure destroyed by years of war. Despite the outward display of unity, the shadows of recent history loomed large. Ahmed al-Sharaa's journey from leader of Syria's al-Qaeda faction to interim president presents an uneasy contradiction in his dealings with Moscow. Russia, which granted asylum to the ousted Assad and his family, finds itself in the difficult position of simultaneously supporting a regime born of rebellion and sheltering the leader it once backed. Reports from the Russian media indicate al-Sharaa formally requested that Russia extradite Assad to face trial for alleged crimes. Moscow, however, rebuffed this demand. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov underscored that Assad's asylum was granted for humanitarian reasons. He said,
"Assad and his family have faced physical extermination. Assad had no problems living in our capital, and there have been no poisonings."
This refusal illustrates the pragmatic but cautious stance Moscow must maintain, balancing its support for the new Syrian government with its commitment to protect Assad. Security issues added further strain. Al-Sharaa sought Moscow's assistance against Israeli demands to expand a demilitarized zone in southern Syria, a frequent flashpoint for military tensions. He also proposed redeploying Russian military police to bolster border security and curb Israeli incursions, underscoring Moscow's role as a regional power broker. On the economic front, Syria's urgent needs are evident. Food supplies, especially wheat and reparations for war damage, dominate Damascus's requests. Moscow's officials confirmed plans to revive oil production and rebuild infrastructure, signaling a willingness to invest deeply in Syria's reconstruction.
Our companies are interested in developing transport infrastructure and restoring the energy sector, as it was originally built during the Soviet era. Most of the energy equipment there is Soviet-made. Our enterprises are interested in using Russian equipment in Syria. Today we discuss specific projects in energy and transport, as well as the development of tourism, healthcare, and culture. All of this will be discussed in detail, and we are ready to provide support and take part in Syria's reconstruction.
As the Washington Post noted, Moscow must now walk a tightrope, maintaining a military presence, advancing economic interests, and navigating the unpredictable political landscape of a nation still healing from war's wounds. The rapprochement between Moscow and Damascus carries weight far beyond their bilateral ties. By preserving its military bases in Syria, Russia secures a strategic leap into the Mediterranean, granting Moscow influence over a volatile region where power balances continue to shift. This presence not only affects Syria's future, but resonates across the Middle East, North Africa, and even parts of Africa, where Russian military and diplomatic moves challenge Western dominance. Moscow frames its policy as a defense of national sovereignty and non-intervention, a direct contrast to Western-led actions that Russia portrays as destabilizing. The United States and its allies now face a Middle East where their influence is contested by Russian military might and diplomatic weight. Syria's embrace of Russia, despite enduring sanctions, reveals the emergence of alternative alliances. These new partnerships are reshaping the post-Arab Spring order and undercutting Western hegemony. In this fracturing global landscape, the Moscow-Damascus alliance exemplifies how local conflicts intersect with global power plays. Russia's deepening role in Syria is a testament to its broader ambition to shape not just regional outcomes, but the contours of international diplomacy itself. The Moscow meeting between Putin and al-Sharaa marks a critical moment in that unfolding story.